Complained of pain, parents immediately took her to hospital, lodged a complaint at the Indiranagar police station. The medical examination that has been done with the report awaited, but the police there has gone ahead, filed a case against an unknown person.
An investigation is being carried on. A security guard has been detained and massive protests have erupted once again on the streets of Bangalore, questioning the safety and security of children at school.
Today we tried to approach the school, or whether they are aware of it or not, but they ignore and they act like they are not knowing anything. And for that purpose, we are coming here just only for to speak with the school authority along with my community members. But now they refuse and they pretend not to, as they are not knowing. So over here, all my angry mobs are here.
I am extremely sorry about this particular incident of 3 years old in Indiranagar where I am staying. And that to a young kid of 3 years which does not know what is life. And look at the plight of the child which goes to the house and tells the parents pain in abdomen. And now that we have also come to know that all the scratches are there in the vital parts of the child. And then in the examination, when she was taken to the boarding hospital, now I am given to understand that it showed positive. What should happen to the child? And I can't really imagine the plight of the parents. And I do not know what has happened in the school, whether it has happened. If it has happened in school, it is completely objectionable.
Yet another case of a sexual assault on a minor girl has been reported from a school in East Bangalore. This time, a 3-year-old girl was allegedly sexually assaulted on Monday afternoon, and now the cops have gone ahead and registered a case under the POXCO Act as well as Section 376. They have also questioned the male staff of the school. We understand one person has been detained, and now people are protesting outside the school demanding justice, while the investigating officials are telling us that all the rules regarding installing CCTV, other security measures were taken care, and they're hopeful that they'll be able to crack the case very soon. With camera person Satish, Harish Upadhyaya, NewsX, Bengaluru.
Well, this unfortunately is yet another case there that's coming from a school in Bangalore, as we see that that other parents have also been protesting against the school for lack of security. While the police there still on with its investigations, they've already managed to make one detention there of a security guard. Protests there continue on the streets of Bangalore. This is unfortunately a grim reminder of what has happened in the past in Bangalore schools as well, and this latest case here being of a 3-year-old girl. She's a pre-nursery student here at a private school in Bangalore, and she's complained of molestation.
Well, not many months ago, we saw how protests were there on at the streets of Bangalore when parents of several schools got together, get out the police commissioner's office as well. Of course, the police commissioner gave many assurances to all the parents over there, saying that several measures will be taken to safeguard the kids at school.
Let's get in a word here from the NCW member, Shamina Shafiq, with us. Thanks for being with us, Shamina. In your view, we've seen how in the past the Karnataka government, the state government, has issued guidelines for the schools to follow as well. But there seems to be no stop to such horrifying cases inside school.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to rectify. I am former member National Commission for Women, and the most important thing about this entire episode, which has unfortunately again happened in the same city, Bangalore, is that, I mean, despite of so much of hue and cry of the parents, of the people, of the common man, the things seem to be happening and repeating over and over again for the simple reason that there is no accountability fix basically and there are no checks and balances. I mean, you create norms, you say these are the guidelines, but who's there to actually check and see as to whether the guidelines have been followed or not? So it is not, I mean, just one unfortunate incident happened and somebody gets up and says, okay, we'll do this, and then again, I mean, things go just unheard, unnoticed, unaddressed. So we really need to work towards ensuring that our children have a safe environment. For heaven's sake, I mean, schooling is the most important part of our childhood. The child ought to go to school. The parents ought to rely upon the school authorities. So the most important part here is of the school. And the second thing that I really want to raise is, I mean, where are the bodies? Why NCPCR is still headless? Why there are no members? Why there is no commission in place? I mean, that is also one of the reasons, because, I mean, why these bodies are created. These bodies are created to ensure that
Okay.
things are in place, and when you don't have such bodies, obviously, I mean, accountability, guidelines, I mean, checks and balances, everything falls apart. So it's really unfortunate, but
Indeed.
at the same time, I think the school authorities should be brought to book.
All right, Ms. Shavina Shafiq, thanks very much indeed for speaking with us. We also have Ms. Binda Adike, women rights activist, joining us over the phone line. Thanks very much for coming in, ma'am. Your first thoughts yet again. A 3-year-old being molested in the school premises in Bangalore. Repeated offences being committed against children in school premises in the city.
It's absolutely shocking with so many instances and incidents that have been happening over here. There always seems to be just knee-jerk responses, both from the schools as well as from the system. The government is not taking this seriously. The schools are not willing to take responsibility. They have still not put in all the due diligence required and necessary to appoint their teachers. One just doesn't know what is happening. I think the school should be held responsible and a criminal action must be taken on them. Besides, of course, taking criminal action on the perpetrator.
But Ms. Adige, going by how it's really played out in the past here in Bangalore as well, is it that easy?
A question of easy or difficult. It is a question of implementing the legislations. It is the question of having your rules and laws which are already in place to be implemented strictly. There is no excuse for it. No excuse should be given for it. The question of implementing the legislations. It is the question of having your rules and laws which are already in place to be implemented strictly. There is no excuse for it. No excuse should be given for it. Whether it is the education department or the school department, the local government, and certainly the Karnataka State Commission for Child Rights.
Yes, Ms. Binda Adike, you will recall just a few months ago there was huge agitation by protesting parents on the streets of Bangalore, which carried on for a few days, looking at how one after the other several cases came. But the thing is, no really change on ground, whether of implementation of rules and regulations, CCTV cameras. Several guidelines were actually being enforced upon authorities, but clearly that's bringing about no respite in these cases.
The schools themselves are unwilling to create awareness, to caution children and talk about this entire issue called sexual abuse. They want to push it under the carpet. They are saying it doesn't happen in our school, it happens in other schools.
Right.
Children, they do not want to talk about it and tell children that come up and speak to me if something happens. There is no open channel of communication, and the teachers have not been even today informed that stringent action will be taken.
A systematic change there that needs to be put in place. Binda Adike, many thanks for speaking to us on that front.